Hello student, Jai Bharat to each and everyone. Today we will study about the Gauss law, that is Gauss theorem. The Gauss law states that the total flux through a closed surface is 1 upon epsilon time the net charge enclosed in the surface. The surface is called the Gaussian hypothetical surface. Suppose the surface S is a sphere of radius r, center on Q, that is charge Q is at the center of this surface, the sphere of surface S. S is the Gaussian surface, this spherical surface. Let us consider the element ds. The flux through the area element ds is given by the d phi is equal to E dot ds. E is the electric field radially outwards. We know the electric field is always radially outward, that is normal. This is E field direction. You can take in any direction. In what direction you can take. That is equal to E ds cos theta. That is E ds cos 0. We know that radius is at right angle to the surface of a sphere or spherical surface S. That E ds, small part of the surface ds also will be perpendicular, will be along the ds is the normal drawn to the element ds, that is small surface area, that is normal to the surface. This is a unit vector you can take also. So ds cos theta, ds cos 0, angle between E and ds and E both are along the same direction, and hence angle is 0. Cos 0 is 1, that is flux d phi is equal to E ds. According to Coulomb's law, the electric field E is given by this q upon 4 pi epsilon 0 r square. The r is the distance, E is the electric field. This distance is also r. So what is electric field here? That is given by the Coulomb's law, q upon 4 pi epsilon 0 r square. Now we want to calculate the flux throughout the spherical surface S. The total flux through a surface S is say phi, then phi is equal to integration of d phi over the surface S. You can take small ds, ds1, ds2, ds3, ds4, ds5, all total is that will give you the area of the surface S. So S d phi, and that is equal to d phi is equal to E ds, as we have seen. The total flux phi is equal to E multiplied by the total area of the sphere, that is S. Integration of ds is S. S is 4 pi r square, that is 4 pi r square. So flux phi is equal to electric field according to Coulomb's law is equal to q upon 4 pi epsilon 0 r square multiplied by area of the sphere, that is 4 pi r square. Therefore flux phi is equal to q upon epsilon 0 according to Gauss law. Correct? 4 pi r square will cut q upon epsilon 0. So flux phi through any surface, irrespective of its shape and size, is equal to the 1 upon epsilon naught time the charge enclosed. Surface may be of any shape. If charge is q, the flux phi through the surface is given by the Gauss law, q upon epsilon 0. Correct? May be any shape. If total charges are suppose distributed over the surface of a cube, minus 5 centimeter coulomb, plus 3 coulomb, and minus 3 coulomb, different position or point, then total flux phi is equal to net charge. Net charge of this total is minus 4 upon epsilon 0, 4 coulomb. If total charge is q1, q2, q3 in this shape, the phi is equal to net charge q1, q2, q3, say q, that is equal to say q, then q upon epsilon naught, where q is equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. Now, what significance of Gauss law? The Gauss law is true for any closed surface, no matter what is the shape, maybe shape of this shape, square, rectangle, cylindrical, of any shape, or cubical. The term Q on the right side of the includes the sum of all charges. In the situation when the surface is so chosen that there are some charges inside and some outside, the electric field is due to all charges, both inside and outside. But flux, total flux according to Gauss law, is connected only with the charge enclosed inside. But the term Q on the right side of the Gauss law, however, represents only the total charge inside S, inside the surface. That's all. Now, field due to the infinitely long state uniformly charged wire. This infinitely small, thin, infinitely long state wire having the uniform charge density lambda. Lambda is the charge density is equal to total charge. Say total charge on the wire is Q. Then Q by L is equal to lambda, or Q is equal to lambda L, which is the line charge density. Consider a thin infinitely long straight wire having a uniform linear charge density lambda coulomb meter. Consider a cylindrical Gaussian surface of radius r. This is the Gaussian surface, cylindrical Gaussian surface. You can imagine any Gaussian surface. We have taken the cylindrical Gaussian surface of radius r and length L, and its axis is along the line of charge, along this. The field E is everywhere radial. We know the positive charge, if it is a negative charge, it will be inward, but it will be radially inward, but right angle to the surface. This is the direction of E. You can take it here also, this is the direction of E. The flux through the two ends S2 and S3, S2 and S3, this cap areas of a cylindrical Gaussian surface. Of the cylindrical Gaussian surface is 0. Why 0? Because cos theta is S ds is 0. This is the direction of area element ds3, and this is the direction of electric field. This angle is 90, cos 90 is 0. This will be flux through it will be 0. Similarly, for this also, electric field in this and area vector ds2 is in this direction. So, this angle is also 90, cos 90 is 0, cos 90 is 0. This is also 90. The area S1 is ds3 is perpendicular, is along the direction of E, that is parallel to E. So, S1 is, or ds1 is parallel to E, that will contribute. Let us calculate. Thus, phi is equal to total flux phi is equal to total area S, total surface area S E dot ds according to this equation, and that is equal to the flux over the surface S1 E ds1 plus flux over the surface S2 plus flux over the surface S3, that is S1 E ds1 plus S2 E ds2 plus S3 E ds3. Therefore, phi is equal to total flux phi is equal to S1 E ds1 cos 0, ds1 cos this one. This is S1 surface, the spherical surface is S1. So, small element of the spherical surface is ds1. So, ds1 and the E, they are parallel. So, cos theta is 0 plus S2 E ds2 cos 90 plus S3 E ds3 cos 90. This will be 0, cos 90 is 0. So total flux phi is equal to surface integral over S1 E ds1. Therefore, phi is equal to E S1. The surface area of the part S1, this one, spherical portion, is 2 pi RL, we know. Therefore, phi is equal to E S1. S1 is this. So, E into 2 pi RL. According to Gauss law, the total flux phi, that is equal to Q upon epsilon 0. So, 2 pi RL is equal to, now Q is equal to lambda L upon epsilon 0. Lambda is the charge density. If Q charge is distributed over the L length, Q charge is distributed over the L length, then what is the charge per unit length? Total charge upon length. Very simple. L cut. So, E is equal to lambda upon 2 pi R epsilon 0. This is the equation for the intensity, electric field intensity or electric field due to a line of charge or due to infinitely long state infinitely charged wire. Electric field due to the uniformly charged plane sheet. Let sigma be the surface charge density. We take x axis perpendicular to the given plane sheet. This is a plane sheet, given plane sheet, and it is positively charged sheet. We take x axis perpendicular to the given plane sheet. This is x axis. This distance is 2x. This one, either side is x distance, and sheet is perpendicular to the x axis. E field will not depend on y and z axis, because the flux due to that E field is only along the x axis, perpendicular to the sheet, plane of the sheet. Sheet is right angle to the x direction. So, field will be right angle to the sheet, that is along the x direction. Direction of E field at every point is parallel to the x direction. This is x direction and E is parallel to the x direction. This way, toward the minus x direction, you have plus x direction, but it will be always parallel to the x direction. Take a Gaussian surface to be rectangular parallel pipe of cross section area A. This is a rectangular parallel pipe. This is a hypothetical imaginary Gaussian surface we have taken. You can take a cylindrical surface and it can also do. The two faces 1 and 2, this face and this face, will contribute to the flux because electric field lines are perpendicular. Electric field lines are perpendicular to the face and parallel to the area vector ds. Remember, parallel to the perpendicular to the face and parallel to the area vector. It is not perpendicular to the area vector. Area vector is always taken to the normal to the face or surface. Correct? So, be careful. Keep in mind that the two faces 1 and 2 will contribute to the flux because electric field lines are perpendicular to the faces 1 and 2. Thus, angle between the area vector to the face is make angle 0. E field and the area vector, it makes a angle 0, both are parallel. So, theta is 0. For other faces, theta is 90, so they won't contribute. And electric field lines are parallel to other faces. Therefore, electric field makes an angle 90 with area vectors normal to the other faces, and electric field flux will be 0 for other faces. That is what be a contribution from those faces. Thus, unit vector normal to the surface 1 is in minus x direction, while the unit vector normal to the surface 2 is in the positive x direction. Therefore, flux E ds through both the surface areas are equal and add up. The total flux through Gaussian surface 1 E ds plus surface 2 E ds 2. This is ds 1 and this is ds 2. ds 1 and ds 2, ds 1 and ds 2 are the small surface areas vector. That is equal to EA plus EA. The total surface area of this portion is A. This portion is also A. The EA plus EA, that is equal to 2A. Therefore, electric field is equal to sigma upon the 2EA is equal to sigma A according to Gauss theorem. The charge enclosed by the closed surface is sigma A. Sigma is the surface charge density and A is the area. By Gauss law, the total flux is equal to total charge sigma A. The E is equal to sigma upon 2 epsilon 0. Vectorially we can represent it as electric field is equal to sigma upon 2 epsilon naught unit vector n. The unit vector n is the unit vector normal to the plane and going away from it. Correct? E is directed away from the plate if sigma is positive. If this is positive, E is away from this. And if sigma is negative, that is plate is negatively charged, then electric field will be correct. So, if E is directed away from the plate if sigma is positive and towards the plate is towards the plate if it is negative. Let us see the numerical on flux. The electric field component in the figure are Ex is equal to alpha x raised to half power half, Ey is equal to Ez is equal to 0. Alpha is equal to 800 Newton per coulomb meter minus meter raised to half. This is a small example 1.11 on page number 35. Calculate number 1 A, flux through the cube, and number 2 B, the charge within the cube. Let us calculate the flux phi first. We know the flux phi is equal to E dot ds, that is equal to E dot ds cos 90 for other phases. Consider this figure. For other phases angle is 90. So, we will consider only x direction, correct? The plane perpendicular or face is perpendicular to x. That is shaded one. Others contribution is 0. EL left side electric field due to this left side face alpha x raised to half, that is equal to alpha A raised to half. X is equal to, for the left face, x is equal to A. So, put the value of x as A. So, it will become alpha A raised to half, x is equal to A. Therefore, flux phi is equal to electric field EL on the left side into area delta S, that is equal to EL left side electric field into delta S cos 180 for this. Electric field is in this direction and area vector is in this direction. So, angle between them is 180, that is minus, correct. So, minus E left into delta S. Delta S is equal to each side of the cube is A. So, area of this face is A square. So, flux phi will be equal to minus electric field left side electric field EL into A square. Now, let us calculate the electric field for the right face, right side face. This is left side face, we have calculated. This is right side face. We know for the right side face, this distance is A, this is another A, that is 2A. What is the x? X is equal to 2A for the x is equal to 2A for the right portion. So, ER is equal to alpha x raised to half, that is alpha x is equal to 2A for this face is to half. So, phi r is equal to ER delta S, that is ER delta S cos theta, and cos theta is cos 0 for this face. For this 180, for left, for right it is 0, that is ER delta S. Delta S, S in the case of the left side face, area is the same for the left side face and the right side face. So, ER FR becomes equal to ER A square. The total flux phi is equal to phi right plus phi left. Phi right is ER A square minus phi L is EL A square. Now put the value of electric field as given. Electric field is given. So it is equal to alpha 2a raised to half a square alpha a raised to half a square. That is equal to a square alpha is common into bracket a square alpha we take common, a square alpha you take common, bracket 2a raised to half minus a raised to half. Now take a raised to half is common, again take outside. So alpha a raised to 2 and a raised to half, that is pi by 2 into bracket under root 2 raised to half, that is under root 2 minus 1. Under root 2 has value 0.7, under root 2 is 0.7, alpha is 800 Newton per coulomb meter raised to half, and A, the phase is 0.1 meter. Introduce the value and get the value, calculate the value of phi. Phi is equal to 800 0.1 raised to 5 by 2 1.7 minus 1, that is 0.7. Calculated by log method, log phi is equal to log 800 plus 5 by 2 log 0.1 plus log 0.7. Calculate this, and from the end log table you know mathematics, calculate, that will come about 1.05 Newton meters coulomb minus 1. Now next part, B, total charge. What is the total charge inside within the cube? From the Gauss law we know flux, total flux phi is equal to Q by epsilon 0. So Q is equal to phi into epsilon 0. Phi is 1.05, epsilon 0 we know 8.854 into 10 raised to power minus square. This Q is equal to 9.27 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 12 coulomb. Let us see the numerical 1.8 on page number 46 of exercise. 2 point charge is Q is equal to 3 microcoulomb and QB is equal to minus 3 microcoulombs are separated by distance 20 centimeters in vacuum. What is the field at O midpoint joining the line AB? The electric field E at O due to the charge A or QA, say EA is equal to K QA upon RAO square, this distance, that is 10 centimeter, correct. That is K is equal to 9 into 10 raised to power 9 into 3 into 10 raised to power minus 6 upon RA 10 centimeter, that is 0.1 meter, that is 10 raised to minus 1 meter square. That comes about 2.7 into 10 raised to power 6 Newton per coulomb. The direction of the force, electric field is towards OB. This is positive and this is electric field is defined as the force acted by unit positive charge placed at that point. So electric field due to this QA at O will be equal to the A QA upon RO square. Similarly, the electric field EB at O due to the charge QB. So EB is equal to same, charge is the same and the distance is also same. So magnitude of the electric field also will be same. What is the direction? This is negative charge. So electric field will be inward toward the negatively charged source charge. This is a source charge. So EB is equal to also 2.7 into 10 raised to power 6 Newton per coulomb. Net electric field, both are in the same direction. So they will be added. So net electric field E net is equal to EA plus EB, that is equal to 2.7 multiplied by 10 raised to power 6 Newton per coulomb plus 2.7 10 raised to power 6 Newton per coulomb. That comes about 5.4 10 raised to 6 Newton per coulomb. Now second part, if negative test charge of magnitude 1.5 into 10 raised to minus 9 coulomb is placed at O, what is the force on the 1.5 into 10 raised to minus 9 coulomb charge placed at the midpoint? Let us call it as a Q0. So Q0 is equal to minus 1.5 into 10 raised to minus 9 coulomb. This is a minus. So force between the QA and the Q naught will be the attractive. This is negative charge, and this is positive charge. There will be attraction. So FOA will be towards the OA. So FOA is equal to KQA Q naught upon RAO square. AO square. This is separation. That will be minus 9 into 10 raised to power 9 multiplied by 3 into 10 raised to minus 6 QA multiplied by Q naught, that 1.5 to 10 raised to power minus 9 divided by 0.1 square. That comes about 4.05 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 3 Newton. What is the direction? Along OA. This is the direction. Similarly, force on Q naught due to the QB. This is minus and this is minus, it will repel. So, the direction also of this will be towards OA. The direction of FOB will be also OA. So, FOB is equal to K QB Q naught upon RBO square, that is equal to 9 into 10 raised to power 9 multiplied by 3 10 raised to power minus 6 multiplied by 1.5 to 10 raised to power minus 9 as before upon 0.1 square. That comes about the same, both are the same magnitude. Data is same, so force will be also same, 4.05 into 10 raised to power minus 3 Newton along OA. This is also along OA and this is also along OA. So, they will be added up. The net force at the midpoint O on the charge Q naught will be FOA, the force on O due to A plus force on O due to B, that is equal to 4.05 into 10 raised to power minus 3 plus 4.05 into 10 raised to power minus 3 Newton. This is total is 8.1 into 10 raised to power minus 3 Newton. Next example 1.9 on page number 46. A system of two charges Q is equal to 2.5 into 10 raised to power minus 7 coulomb and QB is equal to minus 2.5 into 10 raised to power minus 7 coulomb are located at points A is equal to 0, 0, minus 15 centimeter and B is equal to 0, 0, plus 15 centimeter. What are the net charges? Number 1. And what is the electric dipole moment? Number 2. Let us see one. Total charge of a dipole is, these are the coordinates, is on the z coordinate, correct? A is equal to 0, 0, minus 15 centimeter, charge QA is equal to 2.5 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 7. This is also the 2 point minus, but it is 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 7 coulomb, which is QB. Its location is B 0, 0, 15 centimeter, that is z axis. X axis 0, y axis 0 coordinate, here also 0, 0. Correct. So, net charge of a dipole is a dipole. Net charge of a dipole is Q1 plus QA plus QB. QA plus QB. QA is 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 7 coulomb and QB is minus 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 7 coulomb, that is 0. We know already the net charge of a dipole is 0. The dipole moment is along the dipole axis. This is BA is the dipole axis. It is dipole moment is from the center O and represented by P, that is from negative charge to the positive charge as shown in the figure. This is the direction of dipole moment or dipole. Sorry. The dipole moment is equal to the either it is a product of either of charge into separation between two charges. The electric dipole moment is either charge into separation, that is 2.5 into 10 raised to power minus 7 multiplied by 0.3 coulomb into meter. Coulomb into, this is not centimeter, coulomb into meter. That is equal to 7.5 into 10 raised to power minus 8 coulomb meter. So, electric dipole moment is 7.5 into 10 raised to power minus 8. Correct? Net force is 0 and electric dipole moment is 7.5 multiplied by 10 raised to power minus 8.